Okay, so the stencils are all dry now, and we're going to add the last bit for this second, technically second layering, which is to push this back again. And remember, this is about mixed media and the layered page, and so we have lots more to do to these pages, more layers to add to them, and as is always important for a mixed media artist, you never get too attached to any layer during the process. You are okay pushing back, bringing out, pushing back, bringing out as you build your layers for your final product background, and then of course doing your whatever it's going to be on the top. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take all 4 of these and take a look at them. Well, actually all 8, because we've got double sides, but I'm only going to demonstrate 4. And what we're going to work with is just gesso. We're going to put it back. And I've got my palette here, and I'm going to, let me scoot this over a little bit. I'm going to just add a little bit of gesso here on the palette rather than directly on the page, because I want it just to be a light coating, not a heavy coating. So what I usually do is I roll through, and then I get an extra sheet of paper and I roll off my excess onto that. And this allows me to get my brayer at the layer. Good, that's about right, that I want it before I start adding it. And so all I'm doing is taking this bright red kind of, right, and pushing it back in there without really covering up everything and subduing it all. I just wanted to give a hint of the red coming through, as if this is an old wallpaper that you might find in an old Victorian derelict house somewhere, and it's peeling off and it's faded and there's only portions of it still you're still able to see. And whenever we work in mixed media, that's usually what we're doing, is we're thinking about different textures that we become aware of or that we see in our life, and we travel. And the older ones are always the better ones, because they are the history, right? They're what we're aspiring to give an echo of or a hint of on our pages. So you can see now that that has really subdued and put the background back in. And so that's really nice. I'm going to set that off to dry. Let's go to the next one. You can see again, boom, it's popping out a lot. We can see our original layer, which is the blue with the drawing on it, and then the stencil, but it's still too bright. It's in our face, and we don't want that. A background has to be a background, and that's what the layers are all about, letting each layer merge together, and we merge them together by simply using our gesso. You can use white too, but it's a little more opaque. Gesso is a little more translucent and gives us the look that we're really going for. But look at how nice and uneven and textured that is. Almost gives the hint that it's a crocodile skin or some crazy sea creature skin, huh? I really am liking this one a lot. It could be a fungus, it could be a spores, but it really has a very cool look to it. All right, so now they're not so bright and in our face, right? Yeah. All right, so now this one, I really love this one. All right, so what I'm going to show you how to do is use bubble wrap like this, okay? So we're just going to put our gesso on the side like that and get our brayer nice and wet, and then just run it over the bubble wrap Get a nice coating on the bubble wrap. Okay. And I'm going to wipe that bit of, so I don't have a blotch on the opposite side of this. Now all I'm going to do is take this and I'm just going to lay it down. Going to lay it down and give another layer. You can see how cool that looks. I'm going to add just a little bit more right here. And then we're going to add just a little up top here. Not all over. And then see what it does is it gives it just a little more dynamic. It kind of evens it out, balances it out. All the vibrant turquoise color there and the white. It doesn't make it so in your face, but it keeps the integrity of that stencil. I love that stencil. All right, and here we go for the last one, which is a very muted one. I'm gonna take the rest of this and put it down on there, just so I don't get this all over everything. See how cool that looks? So just kind of gives it a nice, excuse me, a nice balance. So it's another layer, but it mutes the gold, gives it balance, and it places it back. So all 8, both sides, working on the back side with stencils, of course, and once the stencil's dry, pushing it back with gesso, whether it's with a pattern or whether it's just using your brayer to roll over it. Okay, see you in the next round.